Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Beach Day Slouchy hat. It is a summer hat. You can see it has all this open work, and it's so much fun to make and so much fun to wear. It's perfect, again, for the beach, but it's also perfect for the pool, or maybe the lake, or maybe just having a bad hair day and you want to stuff your hair up into a hat. If you have a lot of hair like I do, it's perfect. It's also for the guys and the girls, and whatever colors you want to make it in is up to you. We did this in a light 3-weight cotton, so there are lots of options out there for yarn. Now, if you would like to see the pattern written with pictures, you can find that on my blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make our Beach Day Slouchy hat, you're going to need some lightweight number 3 cotton yarn. Now, I used the Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel, and this has a sparkle in it. And I really like that. And the name of it is Twirls at Twilight. And it has beautiful shades in it. You can see purples and teals and sort of this melon color, and then it goes even lighter. It's just beautiful. And so I thought it worked perfect. Now you're going to need about 3.5 ounces of a light number 3 cotton yarn. Now, we're doing this in cotton because it is a summer style hat. And like I said, it's perfect for going to the beach or the pool, to the park, or even just in your backyard when you want to just throw on a hat, maybe shove your hair or your ponytail up inside there, or maybe just run to the store and you don't have time to fix your hair. That's what I like to wear mine for anyway, because I have a lot of hair now. All right, so 3.5 ounces of a light number 3 cotton yarn. We're going to be stitching with an eye hook, which you usually don't use an eye hook for a light number 3, but we want it to be loose and stretchy and comfortable, which is the nature of a slouchy hat. So we're using our eye 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. And then you just need a needle to weave in ends and a pair of scissors. So we're going to begin, of course, with a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to put the tail of our yarn over the hook and pull it through that loop. Now, if you would prefer to make your beginning loop using a magic circle or another method, that's totally fine. We're making a stay knot to hold our chain 5 into a loop. We're going to put our hook in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Now we're going to stitch 9 more, so we have a total of 10 double crochets for round 1. You'll also notice that I'm stitching over that tail of yarn, and that's so we can weave that in and close up that hole in the center of our hat, because we're starting at the crown of the hat and working our way down. There we go. All right, let's see how many I have made. So here's our chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more makes 10. So we have a chain 3 and 9 double crochets, which count as 10 double crochets. We're going to join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and weave this end in. So I'm going to gently pull on that to close up that hole, and then I'll put that on my needle and go ahead and weave this in. Then I don't have to worry about it. It's all done. And the neat thing about just using one yarn not changing colors, just letting it change as the colors change. We only have 2 to weave in, a beginning and an end. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clip that. Whoops, there we go. And so for round 1, we have 10 double crochets. We joined to the chain 3 and chained 3. All right, let's do round 2. Now we chained 3 and our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3. And now for each of the double crochets around, we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each. 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. And we'll do this all the way around, and again join back to our chain 3. I stitched 2 double crochets in each of my 10, so I have 20 double crochets. We're going to join to the chain 3 with a slip stitch, and again chain 3. And again, we're going to repeat what we did on row 2 on row 3. The only difference is we're going to have more stitches, of course. So we'll double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets around. Two double crochets in each of those double crochets, working all the way around. Then we'll join back to our chain 3. So again, I have stitched 2 double crochets in each of my stitches around. So we started with 10, then we had 20, and on round 3 we have 40 double crochets. We're going to join to the chain 3 and chain 3. Again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And now we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And that gives us 3 double crochets together because our chain 3 counted as our first. And now we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. 1 and 2. And now we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. And this is our repeat working around. We're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3, and then 2 double crochets in the next. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. 1 and 2. And that's our repeat for row 4. 1 double crochet in the next 3, and then 2 in the next, and repeat working all the way around, and then we'll join back to our chain 3. I have completed round 4. We have 50 double crochets. We stitched 1 double crochet in the next 3 and then 2 in the next, and that gives us 50 double crochets. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. Now, for row 5 or round 5, our chain 3 again counts as our first double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. So that gives us 4 because our chain 3 counts as our first. And then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. And so our repeat for round 5 is 1 double crochet in the next 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and get in there. 2. And that's kind of what happens sometimes when you're working with a little bit bigger hook than what the yarn usually works with. It becomes just a little bit loose, and that's what we want for this hat. You can see openings, and it's really loose and stitched loose because it is a summer hat. So we want it to have the air to be able to get through it. All right, and we also want it to have just a little bit, not lacy, but just a little bit open, I'm going to say netty, kind of like a net look until we get farther on down in the hat. All right, so we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 2 double crochets in the next. And then we'll repeat this, working all the way around and again join back to our chain 3. I have completed round 5. And on round 5, you have 60 double crochets. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives us 6 double crochets because our chain 3 counts as our first, and then we stitched 5. We're going to chain 1, but we're not going to skip any stitches. We're going to go right to the next stitch and stitch a double crochet, and then we'll stitch 5 more, 1 in each of the next 5. So we have 6 double crochets. So there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And chain 1. So we have 6, chain 1, and 6. We're not skipping where we're stitching our chain 1s, okay? So we've chained 1, we'll go right to the next stitch and stitch 1 double crochet in each of the next 6. There's 4, 5, and 6. And chain 1. And see how that looks? And we'll continue this around, stitching 6 double crochets, chain 1, do not skip, 6 double crochets, chain 1 all the way around, and again, do not skip a stitch where you make your chain 1. I have completed round 6, and you're going to have 10 sets of 6 double crochets, chain 1. And remember, we did not skip a stitch where we added those chain 1s in between each set of 6 stitches. Okay, here's my last chain 1, and then I joined to that chain 3. And we're going to chain 4 this time. I've chained 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the next 2 double crochets, and we're going to V-stitch in between the next 2. All right, so we have 6 stitches here, and we're going to V-stitch in between the 3rd and 4th double crochet. So we're going to go in between and stitch a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and this chain 4 at the beginning counted as a double crochet, chain 1, and then we skipped those 2, V-stitched in between the 3rd and 4th, and we're going to skip those 2. We've chained 1, and we're going to double crochet in the last of those 6 double crochets. All right, so what it's going to be is a double crochet, chain 1, skip 2, V-stitch in between the 3rd and 4th, double crochet, chain 1, we'll skip those 2, and then double crochet in that last of that first set of 6. All right, now we're going to chain 1. Let's go to the next set of 6 double crochets. So we're going to skip that chain 1 space and double crochet in the first double crochet. Chain 1. We're going to V-stitch in between the 3rd and 4th of those 6. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then we'll chain 1, skip those next 2, and then double crochet in the last double crochet of those 6 and chain 1. All right, so let's look at it again. We chained 1 and skipped the chain 1 space. So that brought us to our next set of 6 double crochets. So we double crocheted in the first one, chain 1, we V-stitched in between the 3rd and 4th, chain 1, and then double crochet in the last one. And that's the way that the repeat's going to work for row 7. All right, let's do one more together so that you can understand what I'm doing. So we chained 1, we're going to skip this chain 1 and go in the next double crochet, which is the first double crochet of the next set of 6. We're going to chain 1, we're going to V-stitch in between the 3rd and 4th double crochet, and again our V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Chain 1, there we go, and then we'll double crochet in that last double crochet of this next set of 6 and chain 1. All right, see how that's done? So each of our sets of 6 will have a double crochet, chain 1, a V-stitch in between the 3rd and 4th double crochet, chain 1, and then end with a double crochet, chain 1. And then we'll repeat this in each of those sets of 6 double crochets, working all the way back around, and then we'll join to the 3rd chain of that beginning chain 4. You will notice that it's curling up some. That's because we're starting to work the sides of our slouchy hat. So I have completed row 7. We have double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then we did that all the way around. Here's my last chain 1. I joined to my chain 3 of that beginning chain 4, and now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, this chain 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. Now we'll go to the V-stitch and stitch a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, and then we'll chain 1. we'll go to the next double crochet and double crochet. Chain 1. So there's our first set with our 6. All right, so now we'll move on, and we've chained 1, so we'll stitch a double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch in the chain 1 space of our V-stitch, and chain 1. Then we'll go to the double crochet and double crochet and chain 1. And see how that's going to work? Makes a nice open side of our hat, but also with some fun V-stitches in there. All right, so we've chained 1, so double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the V-stitch. There we go. Chain 1 and double crochet makes our V-stitch. Chain 1 and then double crochet in that next double crochet. And chain 1. And we'll continue to repeat this working around our hat. Now we're building the sides of our slouchy. And so we'll continue this, stitching around our hat, building the sides of our slouchy hat. There we go. And so you'll continue to stitch double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the V-stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, and repeat all the way around. And again, join back to the 4th chain of our beginning chain 4. I have completed round 8, which is again our chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the V-stitch, chain 1, and double crochet, chain 1. And then we repeat this all the way around and join back to the 4th chain of our chain 3. Now, to complete the body of your hat, you're going to repeat row 8 for 11 more rows. And that's going to make a long, loose, slouchy hat. All right? So we're going to repeat row 8 for 11 more rows. So this is how my slouchy hat looks after those additional 11 rows. If you make this hat according to what the pattern is, you're going to get a hat that's approximately 11 inches long. We still need to put on the trim, which is a couple of rows of single crochet, but if you do the pattern according to what I have written, you're going to get an 11-inch hat. If you want your slouchy to be even more slouchy, you can add as many rows as needed. Say you have a lot of hair like I do, you may want a little bit more room in your slouchy hat. All right, but this is how it should look after you've added those additional 11 rows. And now all we're going to do is, after we've made as many rows as we want, we're going to single crochet an even row around. And so we're going to only chain 1 and then single crochet in that chain 3. We'll single crochet in the chain 1 space. We'll single crochet in the double crochet of the V-stitch, but we're not going to single crochet in the chain 1 space. We're going to single crochet in the next double crochet. All right, single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet in the double crochet, single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet in the double crochet, single crochet in the chain 1 space, which brings us to our next V-stitch. So we're going to single crochet only in the double crochets and not the chain one space in between our V-stitch. And so what we're doing is we're single crocheting in every double crochet, and we're single crocheting in all the chain one spaces except the chain one spaces of our V stitches. And this is just going to pull it in just a little bit more so the band is a little bit more snug and stays put on your head a little bit better. All right, so now we're just going to single crochet in the 2 double crochets of our V-stitch, and then just keep moving around, stitching a single crochet in each of the chain one spaces and double crochets, working all the way around our hat. And again, do not single crochet in the chain one spaces of the V stitches. I do recommend also that this row of single crochets that you tighten it up just a little bit, just to help with the band, again, making it a nice snug band so it stays on our head. So here's my row of single crochets. And now what we're going to do is join to that first single crochet, which I did. There we go. Chain one, and then we'll stitch another row of just single crochets. 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets around. And again, this is just going to help us have a nice little band that's just going to help our hat hold its shape, especially when we're wearing it. So 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way around our hat. I stitched a single crochet in each of the single crochet stitches around. I joined to the first single crochet, so I'm going to cut my yarn. All right, I'm going to pull that loop to the inside of the hat. There we go. That way we can tie off to the back. And now the only one I have to weave in is this last one, because we already weaved in the one at the crown of the hat. Of course, if you decided to do some color changing, you'll have to weave those ends in as well. Alrighty, I'm just going to weave this in, and my hat will be completed. I have completed the Beach Day beanie that is perfect for the pool, for the park, or even just running to the store. It's comfy, it's beautiful, and this yarn has a sparkle to it. I don't know if you can see that sparkle in there, but it is a beautiful sparkly yarn. And again, that's the Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel. It's a cotton, and it's called Twirls at Twilight. And it goes from this beautiful purple to teal to some like melon colors to an off-white. It's just a beautiful yarn, perfect for our Beach Day Slouchy hat.